Hey YouTube, what's going on? I'm Danny with Danny's Tech Channel. A few weeks ago I did a video on this graphics card here. This is the EVGA RTX 3060 XC Gaming. I said it is the best graphics card for gamers right now. Well, I was wrong. This is actually the best graphics card for gamers right now. This is the RTX 3060 Ti XC Gaming. Or maybe this one is. Okay, now first I'm going to talk about how I got a hold of these cards, just to give you a little insight on this, because I'm sure a lot of you have not even gotten a hold of any 30 series cards yet, and you're probably pretty upset. But hey, this card, the 3060 Ti, I got in the Newegg shuffle actually. It was one of those fluke things that I won the option to buy it. And the 3060 I got chosen from the EVGA queue. You entered in as soon as the card came out, and then they'll notify you when your number comes up. It's just an order system. So I was lucky enough to get two of the exact same looking card, but one's a Ti and one's not a Ti. The 3060 Ti comes in at $469.99. Now that's $70 more than what my 3060 came in at, but what do you get for that extra cost? More performance. Both cards use an 8-pin PCIe power connector. Now, the RTX 3060 only requires a 550 watt power supply, while the 3060 Ti requires a 600 watt power supply or greater. That's because it has a 200 watt power draw when it's under load versus the 170 watt power draw on the 3060. Now, the 3060 Ti is very close in performance to the 3070. In fact, it's built on the same die set that the 3070 is built on, the GA104, while the 3060 is built on the GA106. If those numbers matter to you. But honestly, I could not find a 3070 for less than $700, and that's if you're lucky enough to get it out of the queue, Newegg shuffle or something like that, or maybe stop over at Best Buy when they're releasing their cards. But to get close to a 3070 performance for less than $500, let's talk about that. Now I want to talk about some of the similarities of the cards, and then I'll talk about the differences as well. Let's start with the obvious. The cards look exactly the same. That's because they have the same cooler and the same size circuit board. In fact, I'm pretty sure EVGA just mass manufactured the cooler and then slapped them onto both GPUs. The only difference I've seen is the top of the cooler on the 3060 Ti has some heavier looking heatsink material, and the 3060 is not closed off on the end here. They both have a metal backplate on them, and they do have this red line, which I'm not too fond of, but I'm glad that EVGA took away the red clown lips or the supercar taillights, whatever you want to call it. Now they're black on the end, which the original releases were not. Now let's talk about the differences real quick. The 3070 Ti is $70 more, and it requires 30 watts more power, which I guess really isn't that bad if you think about it. But the 3060 Ti has 17% better performance on average. And then the 3060 has 12 gigabytes of VRAM, while the 3060 Ti has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. It's kind of confusing on how they decided to do that. What the simple answer is if they didn't pick 12 gigs on the 3060, they would have to have put 6 gigs. And it's not worth it to put 6 gigs in a card these days. Honestly, 8 gigs to me is the minimum. But don't let that extra VRAM sway you to buy the 3060 over the 3060 Ti. This little thing is a beast. Let's talk about the performance right now. I played Control on high settings with this test bench I have right here. This is an i9 10850K with a Z490 MSI Tomahawk motherboard, 16 gigabytes of G.Skill Trident Z RAM at 3200 megahertz. I liquid cooled it using the EK water block 240mm AIO. And it's got a 600 watt power supply to be able to run both cards very easily. The first game I played is Control. I played it on high settings. Actually, all these games were played on high settings. For Control with the 3060, I got 83.7 FPS average, and I got 97 FPS average with the 3060 Ti. Now, my biggest increase in performance, like I had said, was at Apex Legends. For the 3060, I got 163.9, but I got 217.6 on the 3060 Ti. That's across the 3-run average. I jumped in the same spot every single time. It's a battle royale game if you haven't played it. Across the 3 runs, I got 217 versus the 163 on the 3060. These are all done at 1080p, by the way, if I didn't say that already. I also played Call of Duty Warzone on high settings, and the 3060 got 131.8 FPS, while the 3060 Ti got 146.5 FPS. My least increase in performance was on Forza Horizon 4. The 3060 got 187.3, while the 3060 Ti got 206, even, straight across. Now, that's only across 4 games. There are so many more games out there. I'm sure you play other stuff than what I tested. I really just wanted to see what the difference is between different types of games, between racing sim, first-person shooter, and action RPG type game. Now, I'm sure most of you had the question that I did when I first got these cards. If you're using the same cooler design, wouldn't the 3060 Ti get a lot hotter than the 3060? The answer is no. I ran a Unigine Heaven benchmark. I maxed out the settings so I could put the most stress on the GPU as possible. And the RTX 3060 got 65 Celsius. The 3060 Ti only got to 67 Celsius. Now keep in mind this is on an open air test bench here in my studio, but I tested both the exact same way just to make it consistent across both. Now I know what you're thinking, just because the temperature's good doesn't mean the noise is. Gotcha, didn't I? Well, I bet you're gonna be surprised about this because the 3060's fan speed was 72% during that stress test. The 3060 Ti's was only 74% fan speed. That was on both fans. 2% faster fan speed for more performance and a little bit more heat. Barely minuscule. In fact, I actually took audio of both cards. Check it out now. I don't know about you, but to me, it pretty much sounds the exact same. And while I was gaming, while I was testing and everything, I didn't notice which card was in the rig at which time. They sound exactly alike to me, and they look alike too, so I really had to constantly be checking myself to find out which one was which during testing. Now, the beauty of both of these cards, whether you decide that you want the 3060 Ti or you jump on the 3060, from my previous video with all the information that I showed you. Both cards are really great because they have DLSS, they come with real-time ray tracing, and they have resizable bar now as well, which you may or may not want to take advantage of, but there's plenty of videos on the internet talking about that, how to enable it, and the kind of performance gains you can get from it, which really aren't that much. If you can get a hold of either of these cards, which I know most of you cannot, the 3060 Ti is the one I would say to go for over the 3060 because of the performance increase. It's really not that much more money, and it's gonna last you longer down the road. I recommend to all my friends and stuff that when they're buying a GPU or building a computer or something, figure out your budget that you wanna spend for your computer and then stick within that budget and try to get the most GPU that you can for your build, because that's what's gonna hold you over till the next time you decide to build a computer. And next time you decide to build a computer, make sure you stop on over to Danny's Tech channel because I'm always reviewing new computer parts, cases, graphics cards, you name it, I'm taking a look at it. In fact, I love doing PC builds on the channel as well. And if you want to see one like that, you'll have to subscribe down below and catch me next time on Danny's Tech channel.
I won't catch you, don't know I'm stalling, cause you love to have them all crying. Calling me sweet, telling me